Hi guys, it's Shelee. Today's video, I want to do a floating bloom similar to what I did in the Whimsical Bloom video number 203. But I had a number of comments say, I wonder if what it would look like if you did a black background. So, and I want to show you, it does change the dynamic of the bloom, and so I kind of want to show you that. And I think what I might do for the next video, I haven't decided yet, is then I'll do, you know, a white one to compare the two on the canvas that we're going to do today. So that's what we're going to do today, so let's go get started. All right, first I want to go over all the colors, the cell activator, and then the pillow we're going to be using, because it is going to be different, and I'll explain that a little bit more as we get into it. You're going to recognize this color palette. It's my favorite color palette, but I've added another color into it because I want to kind of mix it up, and I want to see what will happen if I add this color. So my first color is PBO Studio Acrylics, the iridescent blue green. And here we have this. That's what that looks like. It is mixed up with my Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix. And then my next color is the Quinacridone Nico Azo Gold, the golden fluid. And I just mixed up a new container, so it is a bit on the thinner side. Usually, and I find, especially in my environment with the fluids, they mix up thinner. You can see how thin that is. Let me show you compared to, I mean, it'll get probably this thick, or maybe even a little bit thicker if it gets cooler in my studio. However, we are seeing 90-degree temperatures this week, so I'm not sure if, but you know, regardless, I've used my consistencies this thin, and you've seen me use them really thick, and so that's kind of like a baseline. It doesn't need to be exactly this thickness or a really thick. You know, it can be anywhere in between. You just want them to kind of be similar. But, you know, I've broken that rule many times and it still worked out okay. So take that for what it's worth. At any rate, and that Nico Azo Gold, if I didn't mention, is the Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix. And then the next color I have is a mix of the PBO Studio Acrylics Iridescent Blue Black, my favorite color ever, and then the golden fluid, the Permanent Violet Dark. And what I did was I started with this base, I mixed it with my pouring medium, and then I added a couple of squirts of this because I wanted more of that blue black undertone in there, and I just have a little bit left. As you can see, this I've had mixed up for a while, so my paints do get thicker as they sit around, with especially with this Valspar Varathane. But again, also if you're in a cooler environment, or you know, you have your air conditioning running, that's going to affect your paints, as well as if you're in a really warm environment, it's going to be really fluid on you. So at any rate, that is the purple. Now I've got one more color I want to throw in, and this is the Arteza Bordeaux Red. I've not used this color yet. My favorite red, we all know, is the golden fluid, the Naphthol. But this Bordeaux, I really wanted to give a try in this color palette. This is mixed with my Valspar Varathane as well. So they're all mixed. All of the four colors here are mixed with my Valspar Varathane pouring medium mix. Now, I've got two cell activators, my usual subjects. This is the gold I absolutely love. This is mixed at 4:1, 4 parts Australian Floetrol, 1 part paint. The 1 part paint is 2 different paints. It's about a half a part each. Eyeball it, doesn't need to be exact. The Atelier Interactive Pale Gold, and then the PBO Studio Acrylics Precious Gold is what makes this gold, and I like both of them mixed together. You can use either or, you know, or try a different one. This is just what I like. And finally, my Atelier Interactive Mars Black for this cell activator. This is also mixed with Australian Floetrol, 4:1, 4 parts Australian Floetrol, 1 part paint. Now, the pillow paint, I'm doing something a little bit different. I've got a black pillow today, and the way I've mixed this up, I didn't do it in this video. I've done videos on it before where I've actually mixed a pillow, a colored pillow up, and I will put the number to a couple of them. You know, you'll see it at the bottom of the screen here. But basically what I do is I take And this is not exactly what I use. Oops. Basically what I do is, so typically for a white pillow, I'm gonna get the Glidden Premium, the pure white for white, right? I don't have the other can up here, otherwise I'd be showing it to you, but I have shown it in the other video where I actually mixed this pillow paint. So what I use, instead of the base 1, I use the base 3 in satin, and then that way I can add whatever color I want. And I like to use fluid colors. This one here is a Matisse Carbon Black. And again, I will refer you to a prior video on how I mixed it up, but that's kind of the consistency of it. I mean, it keeps the consistency of the satin pillow pretty well using. If you want it a little bit thicker, you might, you know, try either a soft body or a medium body. I've never used it. I've only used fluids because I don't want to change the consistency of my pillow very much. So there is that consistency. And now we're gonna go paint. All right, for today's piece, I have got a 12-inch square, just standard canvas all taped up. And I went a little bit smaller only because this is gonna be kind of an experiment. I had a few of you ask about, you know, the whimsical bloom that I did in video 203. You know, I normally use a white background or a white pillow, and they said, well, you know, this would be great in a black pillow. I said, yeah, let's. So I thought to myself, it may change the integrity a little bit, but I really want to see how it works out. So that's what we're going to do here today. So that's why I mixed up a black pillow, and we're going to do, you know, my favorite color palette, but I am also throwing in red too. So I'm mixing up just a little bit, just for spite there. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to get this canvas flooded, and I'll be right back. All right, I've got this canvas mostly flooded. There's enough in the middle here, I think, to carry over the side, so I'm not really worried about that, and I can always touch up. I did have some extra. So we're going to put down the colors for the bloom first, and I'm just going to make a really small one, I think, because this is only a 12-inch, and I want it to float. I don't want it to go over the edge. We all know how sometimes that works, but at any rate, I'm going to put down the nickel azo gold first, and I think that's about how big I'm going to make it. I want it a bit smaller because we are going to blow it out, and then it is going to stretch out. And then I've got the iridescent blue green. And I'm going to put the purple next. I'm going to put the red on last, I think. Kind of separate the blue and the red because, you know, that makes purple too. I want to try to keep the paint colors as separate as I can. It's not going to be perfect. It never is, but I don't want too much red because red tends to take over. At least the one red I always use does. So that's good. Okay, that's actually perfect. Just hit this in the middle a little bit more. All right, make sure we're in the center here. I'm going to put the gold on first, and then we'll do the black cell activator. Like so. And then black. Okay. I think that's plenty. Need my straw for this. That's filling in nicely. I'll let that fill in some more. All right. Definitely different with both the red and the black pillow, but it's looking super cool. I want to play with this and pull things out. I am really digging this. This looks so cool. Definitely looks different against the black pillow, as I knew it would. I mean, it kind of changes the paints a little bit when you're going on a different color rather than just white. I've noticed that, but this is gorgeous. I am so excited to see how this spins out. So I'm gonna meet you up at the spinner box and we're gonna spin this out. All right, let me bring this close just so you can see. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Make sure it's in the center. There we go. All right, I'm gonna just start spinning and guiding and we'll go from there. I need to bring it this way just a little. All right. Ooh, it's opening up just gorgeous. I do not want it to go off though, so I need to be careful. Trying to watch these two. You can't really see the petals because they got a lot of the dark pillow in them. And that's what happens when you have a different color pillow or a darker pillow. You know, normally you see white cells. Well, you're going to get that color pillow cells in there too sometimes. And black is pretty dark, so let's... I don't have a lot of paint left on here, which is good. I can stop at any time. I'm just trying to get it as centered as I can and where I want it. Some of these wispies we're going to kind of lose because again, black is so dark that some of these colors are just going to kind of sink down into it, but the shimmer is going to be there when it dries. So that, I mean, that's going to be just the coolest effect. Like over here, this petal you can barely see. It's got a lot of gold in it, and the gold is kind of sinking, but it's going to have a nice shimmer to it when it dries. All right, I think we're just about there. I do not want to, actually, you know what? Let's go this way. Yeah. I don't want this to go off anymore. I'm just trying to move it ever so slightly because it's barely moving. I just want to make sure it's as center as possible. All right. I'm done. I don't want to overspin it, which sometimes I do. This is a winner chicken dinner, and it's so beautiful against the black pillow. So I'm gonna get cleaned up, and I will bring you over for the flyover of this guy. All right, here it is as a whole. See what I'm talking about right here, where it's kind of faded and almost thready. That's gonna look really cool once it's dried, because there are some neat shimmers in there, and some of these pullouts are kind of, I mean, they're all super shimmery, so they're gonna have a nice effect, but they just look different against a darker pillow. But this, oh, these cells, I'm glad I added the red. I mean, it just added that much more to it. It's definitely a rainbow of cells. I'm so excited. All these little, oh my gosh, there's little rainbows inside all these cells. I love them so much. These look kind of like leopard print almost, and that almost looks like a flame. This is so super cool. I might have to do this on a bigger canvas now. I did a 12-inch just because, you know, if it doesn't turn out as nice, then you know what? I didn't waste a bigger canvas. See what I mean? How, you know, you could barely see it when I had it, the camera farther away, but now, I mean, it just looks like this really pretty lace in there. And here too, I mean, you can see the really neat shimmers. All right, I've gushed enough. I will be back once this is dried to show you the dried results. All right, here it is, all dry. I've got a light on, not shining on it, because then it would just kind of glare, but it was rather dark without a light with this black background. But I mean, it just dried beautifully, and you know, we'll look at all the different orientations and the shimmers, but I wanted to show you it on the wall first. So I'm gonna bring you in and kind of give you a little bit, see if you can see where that gold is, and it just kind of looked like lacing, and there's more up top too, I'll show you. But these cells in here, especially against the black background, I mean, it almost looks like peacock right there, like peacock colors. So pretty. And then these tendrils coming out, they're darker on the back, on the black background, but it really does give a cool effect, but very different from being on a white background. And I love this here. Here's that, and we'll check it out, the shimmers, but you can't really see it. Just get kind of a glimpse of it in this here as well. But overall, I mean, it just dried beautifully. Let's go check it out under the light and see the shimmers. Yeah. You can kind of see the outline of everything, where, especially right here, that lace, you get a little bit of that gold shimmer in there, but then you get a lot of that gold cell activator and that iridescent blue green, and then that purple had the blue black in there as well, but completely different on a black background, but equally as gorgeous. Let's go check out different orientations now. Yeah, here's another way. Not my favorite. The first was my favorite, but it can certainly go this way. It almost looks like a dragonfly this way. Ooh, this is really pretty too. Oh, this is pretty too. See, I don't think there's a bad orientation. My favorite was the first one, and some of these petals actually are kind of reminding me of dragonfly wings or butterfly wings. So I would love to hear your favorite orientation on this piece. I'm gonna flip you around and give you my final thoughts. See, without a lot of light, it kind of, the black kind of sucks it in a little bit, but I've decided I am going to do the next video. We're gonna do this on the white pillow, my white pillow that I normally do, and we'll do the same colors, you know, adding the red in as well, and so that we can compare the two and see how different, and you know, the difference between a black and a white, or a lighter and a darker pillow, because I do get that question a lot. So let me know what you thought of this piece in the description down, or in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this piece. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.